Good morning
Good morning.
or
Hello,
good
everyone.
day.
Morning.
How are you guys?
All good, all good. How's everyone?
Oh, good. All right.
Great.
Hello, everyone. Who's with us? All right. Guys, let's start by introducing ourselves. What do you think,
Sure, I can go first.
everyone? Yeah, start, please.
So my name is Jad Eid. I'm a digital transformation lead at Morta. Morta is a startup based in the UK. We've been serving clients for the last 5 years, ranging from owners to contractors, designers, and we're helping people automate and digitize their processes, mostly following a database-driven approach. So happy to be here and yeah, looking forward to the discussion.
Nice to meet you, John.
Thanks, Nahi.
Dormus.
Hi. Can you speak French?
A little bit.
Can I speak French?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Maybe we can try
je
translating.
m'app-
How are you in French, Jad?
I'm not that great.
Great. Je suis BIM manager chez SBP Architecture. Je m'intéresse côté de machine learning apprentissage. Et du coup, aujourd'hui, j'ai bien présenté mon présentation sur le machine learning et apprentissage automatique. Et voilà, c'était génial. Merci.
Great.
Okay, so maybe I can translate it. So you are a BIM manager working on the machine learning. So this is what what you talked about during your presentation, and you can answer about the machine learning during discussion, right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Maybe I got it in French. Oh, sorry.
Great.
Actually, I understand French more than I can speak. So I'm French educated in the background, but actually I don't use French in the professional life. So this is why it's a bit difficult for me to talk in French. So let me introduce myself now. First of all, it's really nice to meet you guys, to meet you, and to collaborate with everyone at the BIM Coordinators Summit. My name is Nahi Nasruddin. I'm both. I'm an architect and a BIM practitioner, currently working at Lasco Architects and Engineers as BIM and Technical Design Coordinator, and I have a project BIM manager role on the design projects.
Nice.
About me, actually, I studied architecture in Beirut, and I did a Master of Science in Building Information Management. Like for more than six years, I used to work on design projects in different countries in the US, Canada, Cameroon, Saudi Arabia, and in the GCC area. In all my experiences, I used to use the BIM tools and trying to use BIM for the benefit of design. So maybe Jad, you and me share a similar career path, since you are trying always to do this balance between engineering and the digital transformation. So
100%.
since we didn't receive any question yet, so maybe we can talk about it, Jad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want us to talk about generally about the design stage and digital transformation?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what we've been seeing with our clients is that while the industry is moving towards an exciting future using digital twins, using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, as Durmus mentioned earlier, a lot of the industry is still managed on traditional tools like Excel, like Word, like PDF. And these tools, while they are great, like Excel is a wonderful tool, you can do whatever you want on it. These tools do have their limitations. And they, in my opinion, in our opinion, actually at Morta, they did not scale to the level that they need to be to serve the construction industry, but they are very flexible and very versatile. So what we're noticing clients is they're trying to shift away from Excel whenever it's not fit for purpose. For example, one of the main clients that we have, one of the early clients, is the Ministry of Justice in the UK. The Ministry of Justice handles the second largest estate across the UK, 1,600 assets. It's 5.5 million square meters, if my memory is correct. So they noticed, okay, they have a huge amount of data and assets to manage in the UK. Excel was not fit for purpose. Hence, they moved to Morta, which is a more of a database approach, in order to better track KPIs. Like you talked, Nahi, about project management and design. I'm sure you appreciate the value of scientific KPIs on your project to make sure that the project is completed on time, etc., etc. So I'd like to ask a question, and maybe openly people can comment. What are some of the challenges that you see in the design stage? Like, I think you've worked more hands-on, Nahi, and Durmus, of course, if you'd like to add, what are some of the challenges that you see in the design stage recently?
Well, during the different design stages, let's say maybe in stage 2 and stage 3, I'm talking about the Deriba stages as reference. I believe that the comprehension of the level of deliverables between the client stakeholders, the client representatives, and the designers is a bit difficult. What is expected during this stage? What is the required LOD? What is the level of information that has to be in the design deliverables, such as the drawings, the visualization, the reports, and so on. So maybe it's a major challenge we are facing in the Middle East, in the whole Middle East, mainly. This is for me. What do you think, Domus? Well, quelle est la difficulté,
Not sure if he heard.
Domus?
Pardon?
Ok. Quelle est la difficulté pour vous pendant le design stage?
C'est une très belle question. Merci, merci pour ce type de question. En fait, la difficulté pour créer le pont, parce qu'en fait, si le logiciel qu'on utilise actuellement dans notre secteur, c'est super facile. Tu peux utiliser, parce que les outils de ce qu'on utilise, ils nous permettent d'utiliser ce truc facilement, parce qu'en fait, il est y compris tout ce truc, tous les outils, dedans cet outil déjà. Mais le problème, c'est que si je donnais cet exemple sur mes travaux, mes études, si j'ai essayé de faire la machine apprentissage ou machine learning ou apprentissage automatique de rendre le logiciel sur les Revit, par exemple, pour faire ce truc, c'est super difficile. Parce qu'en fait, la machine d'apprentissage, il marchait différentes manières de travailler. Mais le logiciel de ce qu'on utilise dans notre secteur, il ne marche pas comme ça. Il faut créer tous la pointe entre les deux. Et c'est pour ça que pour transformer la data, et il faut faire correctement. Parce qu'en fait, si vous voudrez faire cette opération sur la Revit, peut-être vous perdrez quelques data. Et vous perdrez plein d'informations. Mais en fait, nous, dans notre secteur, dans notre travail, c'est pas possible de faire ça. Il faut garder toute l'information. C'est pour ça que on fait cette opération, c'est exceptionnel. Parce que à la fin de la journée, nous, on ne perd rien. Si on parlait d'une box, ça, à la fin de la journée, on a transformé cette box correctement, avec le même volume, même largeur, même longueur. Voilà, c'est ça la difficulté. Sinon,
alors, pour vous, la difficulté initiale, c'est dans l'utilisation du software and the machine learning can facilitate it, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. So Dormus thinks that the main difficulty is using the software itself, and this is the importance of the machine learning to facilitate this point. So Jad, we'll be happy to know from your side what you at Morta, what you provide, what you really provide to facilitate those two difficulties we've talked about,
Yeah.
like understanding the design deliverables. This is a major problem in the world, and the way that people operate using the different BIM softwares.
Amazing.
And their
Yeah.
relations to the KPI.
Yeah. Amazing. So again, I think the most relevant case study that I can relate to is again the Ministry of Justice in the UK. There, so they have a portfolio of projects every year, and I think it's $1.1 billion every year they're spending on projects, and they have a lot of stakeholders, the supply chain from contractors, designers, subcontractors, specialty contractors. So you can know right away, especially at the design stage, that it's very important to communicate, as you said, what is the deliverable, what is the level of detail, and so on. So what the Ministry of Justice have done is they've created on Morta a standardized list of documents for every REBA stage and for every project complexity. So they've categorized their projects into 4 different categories of complexity. Smaller projects will use a smaller amount of documents, while bigger projects use the full scale of documents. And then people from the supply chain will access Morta, and they will go over the documents, and they'll understand exactly what they need to do from those documents. And then have a communication between the client, which is the Ministry of Justice or the consultant, and the designer. So this is, I think, how Morta has helped. First of all, it's standardized what is required, because in a very large estate, I'm not talking about one project. They have, again, many projects. In one project, I think it's easier, but in many projects, you have a problem of versioning.
Yeah.
What does versioning mean? I mean, if I start a project today, I'm using this version, but the next project that happens in 6 months, it's using another version. So it also helps streamline and relate each project to its own version of the information requirements.
So what type of information you provide, like benchmark drawings, benchmark documents that the clients can refer to as a reference, as a design reference?
We don't provide the drawings ourselves, but we provide the platform in which the drawings are. So they're shared on the CDE, and Ministry of Justice, they use Viewpoint. Other clients use Autodesk Construction Cloud and BIM 360. We can connect to all these 3 solutions, sync the drawings onto Morta, and people can review and add comments to those drawings and models there, and see if they coincide with the generic list of requirements. So they have something called the alphanumerical requirements in the drawing. So every different entity, let's say we're talking about air terminals, the MOJ, Ministry of Justice, specifies that they need to have these properties in these property sets, and the property values should be between this range and this range, right? So you can compare directly the standard versus the model data, and we can extract also model data. So for example, Revit or IFC, we extract model data to Morta and compare it with the specifications, flag wherever something needs to flag. We're not trying to replace Solibri. Like, I know there are many tools out there, including Solibri, which do model checking. We're not trying to replace it. But for quick feedback for the MOJ as a sanity check on their models and drawings in the design stage, we're really helping there.
Sounds good. Very interesting. And
Yeah,
how to
thanks.
facilitate the software use, and are you working on something related to the machine learning?
We're working, no, we have a trial project with artificial intelligence, not with machine learning. So basically, we want the information in these documents to be accessible for non-technical users. So what we're trying to do is to connect an AI engine with those documents, and then people could interact with the document by asking a question. So for example, what is the specification of doors in this type of prison? And then the AI will generate the necessary answers and direct them to the corresponding section within the document. Now, the challenge with the Ministry of Justice is that they want to make sure that this data is within the UK and it's safe, because we're not talking about any type of project, it's a prison project. So we want to make sure that the AI engine is secure, it resides in the UK, and no data leaks happen whatsoever. So yeah, we're trialing with something, I think, in the next couple of months with non-sensitive data. And then when that succeeds, we'll go into more sensitive data.
And sounds great, interesting. So what about us in the MENA region?
What about you in the MENA region? So we have been contacted by a main contractor. I think many of you know it. It's called its name is ALEC Engineering and Contracting. It's one of the biggest contractors in the Middle East. And ALEC have started using Morta initially for transitioning their documents to ISO 19650 standards on Morta. So things like exchange information requirements, information delivery planning and tracking, all of those are being tracked on Morta, and then they expanded to other use cases like pre-qualification documents, like even some use cases in the HR department. So Morta can help in many places, but I think the starting point should be tracking of the information delivery planning. So Nahi, I think it relates back to the KPIs topic that you were mentioning earlier in the design phase. How do you actually effectively measure when a document is completed and things like that? And I think the power of Morta becomes when you have the planning stage and you have different collaborators working on adding the list of documents that need to be submitted. And then Morta can automatically link to the CDE and then track the planning versus the actual. So does this document exist on the CDE? CDE is a common data environment. So things like BIM 360, Viewpoint, Aconex. Does this document exist on the CDE? Yes or no? Is it submitted? What's the status? And then you can have a KPI directly of this company, this originator, how many documents they plan to produce and how many documents have been submitted.
Well, sounds interesting. But actually, I believe that maybe something can be added in the future. Like, just let's consider it as a brainstorming. Maybe
Sure.
doing the QC on the documents, like using any AI bot or engine, since we cannot always consider that a document or anything is delivered until the QA/QC is done on it.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Just to let you guys know, we have 2 minutes left in this session.
Great. Thanks, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey.
No.
So, Dormus, just maybe we can make the closure with your good self. Can you talk like in 1 minute about the future of machine learning you see in the MENA region?
Can I speak French?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Super. Merci. En fait, pour travailler en machine learning, c'est difficile. Et parce que c'est une nouvelle technologie, et on essaie de cette technologie intégrer dans notre secteur. Et c'est pour ça qu'on vécu de super difficultés. Et parce que les gens, ils ne connaissent pas de cette technologie. Malheureusement, ils ne connaissent pas de cette technologie. Mais nous, on essaie de pousser un petit peu. Mais heureusement, la technologie avance super vite. Et c'est pour ça que nous avons une chance pour réaliser cette opération correctement dans notre secteur. J'imagine que dans 5 ans, dans 10 ans, et je suis sûr que tout le monde va utiliser la machine learning à tout le secteur, à toute la partie du secteur de part. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Well, thanks a lot to you. So maybe yes, from 5 to 10 years, everyone will be using AI and machine learning, and hopefully hopefully not most of architects and engineers do not lose their jobs, since I believe if anyone doesn't follow the technology, will be in a bad situation maybe in the future. Hopefully everyone can adopt with the machine learning, and especially in our region, the MENA region. Thanks a lot to you guys, to the BIM Coordinator Summit. It was really nice talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Audrey.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Nahi, also for moderating.
Thanks a lot to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ray.